Hi creatives, welcome back to my channel. Chidi here, and on today's tutorial I'll be sharing with you how I made this beautiful gown that you can see on the screen. It's a Caribbean gown with 3 steps. If this sounds like what you'll be interested in, then come with me as I show you every bit of the process that I took in making this lovely gown. The cutting and the sewing tutorial is on this very tutorial. Then come with me, guys. Here you can see that I have already started the pattern making. I believe that you must be familiar with it by now. I'm just marking the mid armhole, okay? I'm marking the mid armhole, and from there I'll be taking my dart. I just connected using my pattern master, just as you can see me do, and I am taking 1 inch there. I will also be connecting this to my bust point, okay? When I connect, I will be extending this very point. I've already extended it by 1 inch, and I'll be connecting to the armhole, just as I did right now. This part that I'm marking will be going off from this pattern, okay? I'm marking my underbust and ruling a line, a horizontal line there, and I'll be taking 3/4 inch on this side and 1/4 towards the center front. I will connect this to my bust point. Watch closely to understand every bit of what I'm doing. And yes, this is what it is. And I will be connecting the lower part. I'll be connecting to the waist dart. Okay, that is what I'm doing right here. Just take the process I'm taking and you will get perfectly what I got. Trust me. So here I drew a horizontal line straight from my bust point to the side there, and I'll be taking 2 inches. 2 inches is the difference between my front and the back half length, okay? You can take it whichever way you please, either 1 inch on both sides of this line or 2 inches one side, just as I did right now. And you'll be connecting this to the bust point, just as I did, okay? Watch closely. This place will be going off. I'll be closing up the dart at the end. If you're very familiar with this channel, you will know that you will be familiar with this whole process. But if you're not, I will be linking up in the description box how the process of making the basic pattern, so that you will not be confused at any point. I just cut off part of this pattern making to make the video time quite short, or shorter than it should be. You know, when the videos are too long, it may get uninteresting. Okay, so here I am taking 3.5 by 1 just for my back neck drop. What I'm doing now is the back pattern, and I'm connecting it just as you can see me do. Next, I'm taking my shoulder measurement, which is my shoulder divided by 2, and my bust measurement. I went ahead to, do the rest of the pattern off camera, and I'm taking my back tightening right now. I'm just taking a landmark, like a guideline, and I'll be drawing my back tightening. My guideline is to ensure that this does not pass where the armhole ends. Here I am measuring my waist, your waist measurement divided by 4, or your client's waist divided by 4 plus your dart allowance, okay? That is what I just took here. My dart allowance is 1. I have added everything here, and I'll be connecting it just like so. Do yours like this and you will get the perfect fit. I will take my dart when I'm cutting on fabric. I really hope you understand me. I'm just trying to show you why I did not draw any other waist here, because the waist rhymed with the bust line. Okay, my waist divided by 4 plus the dart allowance. That's, got to exactly where the bust measurement is, okay? My client's waist is 34 divided by 4 plus my 1 inch dart allowance. That is what the waistline is. So right now we are going to calculate what the Caribbean will take. My client's waist is 34. 34 divided by 4 is 8.5. Note that what I am calculating here is measurement on fold is 8.5, and this 8.5 I am going to multiply it by 2. That will give me 17. So for the first coach, I will be folding on 17. Note this, I'll be folding on 17, unfold. Like when you open it, this is just for the front part. When you open it up, it's going to be 34. I hope you understand. That is for this, okay? The gown length here is 62. 62 minus my front half length. Watch closely, you will understand the whole process. 62 minus my half length. The half length is about 17. Okay, by the time I did my calculation, what I got as what is remaining is 45. Now, the length that is remaining for this Caribbean gown is 45. And the waist we got is 17. Just watch closely. So I divided this by 3 to get 15. Can you see that? Then each of the coaches of the 3 will be 15 by length and 17 inches by width. Okay, that is the standard width for the first coach. Just watch closely, you will understand every bit of it, okay? Why I use 17, I mean 17 unfold. Just watch closely. As I get to the Caribbean, you will understand what I did here, okay? Trust me, you will understand. Here, I'm just cutting out the back part of this pattern. Length 15 and width 17, okay? The length is gotten by remaining length of 45 divided by 3 because the Caribbean is 3 steps. And the 17, which is width, is unfold. Waist divided by 4, which will give us 8.5. The waist is 34 divided by 4, which is 8.5. Then I will have to multiply it by 2, which will give me 17. That is for the first coach. I won't want to go to the second coach now so that you don't get confused. After we must have cut the first coach of the Caribbean, I'll go ahead and explain to you what to do for the second coach and the third in turn. So here I have already cut out in fabric my front and the back pattern. Is actually a princess cut, just as you can see for the front. And I also have my back pattern there. I'm going ahead to put my notches where they should be. The bust point on the bust, even my allowances, my seam allowances, I ensured I notched all. You see this middle part of the pattern, ensure you notch the bust point and the underbust. If not, by the time you start joining this together, you'll be confused. You won't really know where the bust point or the underbust is. Trust me, for this very center pattern. So it's very, very important that you notch. I like notching my patterns. It makes work very, very easy. So here you can see my Caribbean already cut, okay? I have cut, the length here is 15 and the width for this first one is 17. Unfold. By the time I open, it is 30. 17 unfold. 17 unfold. If I open up, this is 34. This 34 is just for the front, another 34 for the back, but this is the first coach. I hope you understand. 15 by length, 34 by width, just for the front. Okay, by the time you add front and back, it's going to give us 68. That is waist measurement divided by 2. I just added my seam allowance. Okay, so this one is 34 in total, plus seam allowance, which is 36 by width and 15 by length. This one is 15 by length also. But what I did is, you know, the first coach is 34, 17 unfold, okay? That 17 unfold, the second coach will be 17 times 1.5. Whatever you get is unfold. What you use for the front, unfold. Unfold means, like, I know you understand what I mean. When you open it up, it will be double of that measurement, okay? You know, in pattern making, we always cut unfold. I hope you understand. For the third coach, we do the same thing. You multiply the second coach width by 1.5. Whatever you get will be the width of the third coach, but all of them, their length is 15. Is only the width that is different. I hope you understand. So now I have my sleeve, which is the puff sleeve that I want to make, and I have, you can see my basic sleeve already. I want to go ahead and divide this into 3 equal parts and draw my slash lines. I'm going to show you 2 methods of getting the pattern of your puff sleeve. Watch closely to see what I did. Now I'm just doubling the biceps, that is the upper arm circumference. Whatever it is, you multiply it by 2 just to make the puff full, okay? Watch closely to see what I'm doing. This is the slash line I talked about. Divide this into 3 and draw my 2 slash lines, okay? Now, to do the first method of puff, I have to measure exactly my biceps. Whatever your upper arm is, divided by 2, measure it on fold, because this fabric also is on fold. If your bicep, the upper arm is like 14, divide it by 2, which is 7, measure it from fold and place your basic sleeve just as you can see me do. Okay, my fabric is not up to the length of the puff sleeve, but I'm most interested on the upper part. Now I added 4 to that cap, and this is how I connected it. This is the first version of the puff sleeve, okay? 2 of them will still give you the same thing. The second way is to slash and spread, okay? Slash and spread. If we have a biceps of 14 times 2 is 28, okay? 14 on fold is 7. I hope you understand. And this fabric is on fold. 14 on fold is 7. That 7, you want double of it, which is 14. I'm just marking a line so that it will be a guide while spreading this. Okay, what I want to add on this spreading is 7, because I'm doubling the measurement of the upper arm. So I just spread it to cover the the steps I want, the width that I want for this, the fullness I want for this puff sleeve. And this is what I got. You can see that it's exactly the same or almost the same, okay? Now I'm going to add the remaining length of this puff sleeve to what I already have. The remaining length is what I want to cut out now, and I'll be joining it to this sleeve. Now this is the remaining length. The puff sleeve is inside. The puff sleeve is inside, is in, like you push the elastic in to form a sort of ball. So I'm going to add extra 2 inches to the regular length this puff sleeve is supposed to have. So now I've added the extra length, added my seam allowance, and also added extra 2 inches that will help to form this ball effect at the hem of the sleeve. I hope you understand. So that is what I just did here, and I'm done with the pattern. I'll just join it together. These fabrics are double and they are on fold. Here I have applied my hairstay and the rest on the fabric. That is the back part, and the front side, you can see I've already fixed my hairstay and the wording on it. Cut your own just as you can see on this video. I've also gone ahead to put my wording and that stabilizers or interfacing on the necklines. Do yours just as you can see on the video, and I'll go ahead and join them. You can see that I've started joining them here. I've joined my princess darts and sewn my darts for both the lining and the fabric. You should know that this is where the notches we put is very important, okay? Those notches helped me to really sew this quite quickly because it's an urgent dress, okay? I've also put together or stitched my princess cut, and I'm just going ahead to notch it. After notching, I'm going to open it up and iron it open and join the shoulders. Watch closely to see every bit of what I did, okay? Apart from what I'm saying, just watch closely and you will understand. Here I want to do a little alteration on the back. I'm just marking the zipper allowance clearly. I already put a notch for it earlier. I marked 1/2 inch there for my loop. Okay, I want to put an opening on this gown. Okay, it's an afterthought, right? I want it to have an opening, and I've marked out where I want the opening to be, and I'll be cutting it out just as you can see me do. I left 1/2 inch on that upper end to use and stitch the button loop. I've notched my zipper allowance so that after I've joined, my zipper allowance will still be very visible, though I've also marked it with chalk. I'll use this pattern to cut for the lining of the back as well. So I've gone ahead to cut it out for the back lining. I'll go ahead and put extra interfacing on this part so that that place will be structured. I've joined the fabric together back to the front part. I've also joined the lining. Now what I'm doing is fabric to fabric and lining to lining. Okay, I'll go ahead and join my lining here. I'll join my lining, and after that I will go on to finish up the back. The next thing I'll do now is to finish up that opening that I have at the back and put my loop. Just stitch a sort of bias strip and use it to form your loop. Stitch it in as you are stitching this back. I hope you understand, but leave the neckline open. Leave the neckline open. Okay? See the loop, I've already added it and stitched, and of course the neckline is open. So this is what I have. The back is open as you can see, and with the button loop you can see that the neck is open. Okay, I'll just go ahead and stitch it down. Just stitch it down, not inside. I will expose the seam. Okay, the rough edge will still be there because this is where we'll be joining the collar, the bishop collar. I hope you understand. I really hope you do. Now this is what I have. I just stitched on that waistline the bias because the style has bias trimmings on it. This is a shiny 1-inch bias, a trimming. It's not a bias, it's more like a trimming. Yeah, I've already joined this. You can see my Caribbean. I use this at the joining parts of my Caribbean. I've already formed gathered for all the steps of the Caribbean. At the back there is zipper allowance. Okay, watch closely. I added zipper allowance to the back when I was cutting the back. The upper one, the first coach of the Caribbean, has zipper allowance, while the second and the third for the back, they do not have. Okay, now I'm measuring about 2.5 to 3 inches, and I gave a space of about 6. I'll go ahead and mark these points with a chalk. This is space for my pocket, for a pocket. 2.5, I gave 6.5 inches and then stitched from there down. I've gone ahead to stitch the sides of the Caribbean, leaving space for the pocket. Okay, I hope you understand. I left space for my pocket there, and yeah, watch closely and you will understand every bit of what I'm doing. After I've joined everything, including my pocket and all, I'll be joining this Caribbean to the upper part. Okay, but I'll join every other thing before I do this so that the fabric will not be heavy. So right here, I am going ahead to cut my pocket. I just cut a pocket. You can see the opening there is about 7.5 inches. Okay, because what I have, the opening I left on the gown, the Caribbean side, is about 6.5. So I have to make the pocket 7.5. The opening, I mean. Okay, then you can trace the shape just as you can see me do. I'll go ahead and stitch this and also serge it. I've done that and I will be fixing it to this space. I hope you understand. Watch closely how I placed it. I'll stitch this side and turn over and also stitch. Did you see that? Just stitch it inside the allowance. Inside. Don't let it get to the mouth of the pocket. I've gone ahead to stitch it down and my pocket is in place right now. The next thing is to cut the collar. Watch closely. We'll just measure your neck, round the neck. Whatever you get, you divide by 2 because this pepper is on fold. When you divide by 2, watch closely what I'm doing. You measure it. I marked 1/2 inch there and I will smooth it to the supposed shoulder point. I'm measuring the center front to the shoulder. That is what I'm measuring, center front to the shoulder. I'll be marking it here because that fold is the center front. I mark the shoulder point because I will take this 1/2 inch to that shoulder point. That is what I'm connecting now, like a smooth curve that will ease into this line. Okay, here I'm marking 1.5 inches because that is the height I want my bishop collar to have. 1.5 inches. Yeah, and that is all I did there. I'll be cutting it out. I hope you understand. That is all. This collar is just the measurements of around the neck, front and back. See what it looks like when you open up the fold. I'll go ahead and cut this on fabric, on fold. Yes. Here I have placed my fabric on fold and I've placed the paper. I'll go ahead and cut it. I'll cut two of this, okay? Cut 2 of this and apply my interfacing. I use tissue paper, that not the gum stay, the one that is lighter than the regular gum stay. That is what I'll be using as interfacing here. I just marked the back because this fabric is somehow confusing. If you don't mark the back, you'll be confused of where the back is and the front. Okay, here I've applied the interfacing and I'll go ahead and stitch. I've stitched there. Where I stitched is the upper part of the collar. I hope you understand. The upper part of the collar, the place that is unstitched is the one that will join the neck, the exposed part of this neck on the bodice. Okay, I will go ahead and top stitch after notching. I've top stitched. You will know that I don't play with top stitching because it makes this very smooth. I will be, folding 1/2 inch in on the collar, just as you can see me do. I've ironed it down about 1/2 inch. That is the seam allowance. I just ironed it down. I hope you understand. I'll go ahead and stitch. I've stitched it and this is what I have. I'm just bringing it out with my scissors and this is what I have. The collar is almost ready. I've ironed it down. See how I'm fixing it. This raw side that is not folded is where I am pinning to the collar. Notice that I'm pinning it from the back side. Okay, the folded part is now the part that will lie to the front part. That is the, I hope you understand. After stitching it down, you'll be placing it like this and pinning it down. I've already stitched it down there actually, and I'm pinning it down just like so. Do yours like that and you stitch. Okay, see how beautiful the bishop collar is already looking even while not yet stitched. So I'll go ahead and stitch it and also apply my trimming because there'll be trimming on this neck. So here I have my puff sleeve. I've already applied my linings. I have 1 inch elastic, so I have to divide it into 2 because I want tiny, like 1/2 inch elastic on this puff sleeve. But if you have 1/2 inch elastic, please go ahead and use it. I'm making do with what I have. It works for me. I don't have the half inch handy, so I just cut the 1 inch into 2. Just measure your upper arm, remove 2 inches from it. Whatever you get, you measure the elastic of that length. Also add your seam allowance to this measurement, okay? That is what I passed through using my pin. My safety pin is what I use to pass that elastic. I've stitched it down, and this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead and fix this to the bodice. Now this is my bodice. I finished attaching the trimming to the neckline. Just as you can see, I top stitched it after fixing the neckline. I just stitched it on the bishop, collar. Here I have fixed my sleeve. You can see what it looks like. By the time my clients wear it, she's going to push it up, just as you can see. Now I'll go ahead and fix my Caribbean, the Caribbean side of this gown, okay? Now this is what I did before I fixed the Caribbean. I had to finish up the Caribbean side and everything about the upper side so that it won't be too heavy to manage. Here is my lining for the downside of the gown, that is the Caribbean side. So what I just did is to use the measurements of the first coach. It's just that it's longer, by length is longer than the first coach, but every other thing is the same. It is the same width with the first coach of the Caribbean. That is my lining, okay? I've gone ahead to join the Caribbean to the bodice, and I will go ahead to fix my lining to this. Watch closely how I'm going to fix this lining. I'm going to locate the mid part of the lining, and I'll be fixing it to the bodice, just like so. And yeah, watch how I fixed it and see how it closed the rough edge of the waist. This is looking so beautiful, so lovely. I'll go ahead and fix my zipper and my button, and that will be all for this, okay? I have fixed my zipper here, and this is what I have. I'll go ahead and fix my button. This is just what I have. So beautiful. See how the trimmings are glittering and looking very, very lovely. See how lovely it is looking. See the coach. See how lovely and neat this dress is looking. Very relaxed. I'll go ahead and iron and then show you on the mannequin. Here it is on the mannequin, guys. See how lovely this dress is looking. This is so beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you to my old and new subscribers. I am seizing this opportunity to say that I love you all. And if you've not subscribed, go ahead and do that. And also turn on your notification bell so that you will be the first to know each time I upload. Thanks, guys, and see you in my next one.